priceless, we were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born.
What is up, everyone? My name is Jack Zaffel, back again with another video, and today I'm here with my WWE Payback 2017 review. And overall, in my opinion, when it comes to a Raw pay-per-view, I thought this was one of the best ones they've done. Usually with Raw exclusive pay-per-views, I haven't been too into them, like Fastlane. I wasn't a huge fan of that. There was Roadblock, didn't get into that. Hell in a Cell had its moments, and so did Clash of Champions. But this was actually a really damn good show. There were a lot of good matches all throughout. There were some weird moments, but overall, this was a fine, enjoyable show. So I'll quickly touch on the pre-show match, which was Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Didn't watch it, but I believe Enzo and Cass picked up the win. And then there was a Miz TV segment with Finn Balor, and Finn Balor ended up putting Miz into the Finn Balor kicks your ass club or whatever. It was a fine segment. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was fine. But to the actual show, we started off with Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. And if Chris Jericho ended up winning the United States Championship, he would be drafted to SmackDown Live. And this was a really good opener. I really enjoyed the storytelling that was throughout this match. They played up the fact how Owens at WrestleMania to win the United States title held on by like a fingertip to the rope. Well, they kind of played into that as well, because Kevin Owens' fingers ended up getting trapped between the steel steps and the post, and Jericho ended up kicking the steel steps and the post in where his fingers were, so that really hurt a lot, and I liked how we put that into the story. And there was a blocked line salt, but Owens hit some good cannonballs, and there was a really awesome like pop-up powerbomb reversal, and then Jericho hit like a Hurricane Runner on him, and then put him in the walls of Jericho, which looks really, really good. But yeah, when I talked about the Owens fingers getting crushed in the steps, he hit him in the walls of Jericho, and then he couldn't grab to the rope because his hand was hurt from before, so he had to tap out, and Chris Jericho is United States Champion again. Really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the storytelling. I like how they played up with Owens' fingertips and all that. But from what I've heard is Kevin Owens is still on SmackDown. He hasn't been drafted back to Raw, which is good. We might have to find out later on Raw. I'm pretty sure Jericho's not going to be on Raw now that he's United States Champion. He has to go to SmackDown, which, you know, cool addition to the SmackDown brand. That is, if Jericho's still going to stick around, because I know, like before Fozzy, they've got that new album coming out soon and all that. So yeah, we'll see what Jericho does with the United States Championship. I don't think he's going to hold it for long, but if he does, that's fine with me. I'm sure Owens is going to win it back soon, so Jericho can leave to do that. But yeah, as of right now, for the Backlash pay-per-view, we might be getting Jericho versus AJ Styles, which, you know what, fine by me, because those two are fucking awesome. They had a great match at WrestleMania 32, and having a match at Backlash for the US title, don't have a problem with that. But hey, if Kevin Owens wins back the US title beforehand, won't have a problem with that either. So yeah, good opening match for Payback. And then we had a Cruiserweight Championship match right after that between Neville and Austin Aries. Once again, another very solid Cruiserweight match, in my opinion. One bit about the match I really enjoyed was when Neville was like on the second rope and like posing whatever, and Aries like attacked him from behind when he wasn't looking, and he took like this big tumble out. I don't know, I just really enjoyed that bit. But how it all ended was Aries ended up locking in Neville in the last chancery, but when Neville was trying to get out of it, he accidentally on purpose hit the referee, which because of that he ended up getting the disqualification, and Aries won, but he didn't get the championship because of it, which is one of the few moments where I'm actually not mad at the DQ victory on the pay-per-view, because it kind of makes sense. It adds to Neville's character as a heel who will do whatever it takes to keep that championship on him, and you know, he put on a very good effort against Austin Aries, in my opinion. And Austin also did a great job in this match as well. He's been one of the more stronger people on the Cruiserweight division so far, and Neville has done a fantastic job as Cruiserweight Champion. So whoever Neville faces next, because I'm not sure if he's going to face Austin Aries for the third time, maybe in like a triple threat match or a multi-man match at the next Raw exclusive pay-per-view or whatever. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, good cruiserweight match. Hope you see more of them in the future. Next is for the Raw Tag Team Championships between the Hardy Boyz and Sheamus and Cesaro. This was a really fucking good tag team match. I really, really liked it. All four guys did really great in this. Matt had a really cool moonsault, but missed it. Cesaro went to go for a big swing like 20 odd times. And Sheamus went for like... And then when Sheamus and Jeff Hardy were in the ring, Jeff was like down on like all fours or whatever. And Sheamus went up to do a kick right to the chin. And he lost a tooth. Like a tooth actually kicked... He actually kicked the tooth out of Jeff Hardy, so yeah, hope Jeff's alright with that. Sheamus did a great white noise off the second rope. I really enjoyed that. But how this all ended, he did that move, and then on Matt, I think, and then Matt went to tag Jeff when he was doing a move or whatever, and then Jeff climbs up, hits the Swanton Bomb when to break up the pin that Sheamus put on Matt. And then he pinned Sheamus and they won the match, which I'm fine with. Hardy's keeping its champions, cool with me. And how the storyline was pretty much built up for the last few weeks is that, for example, I think Matt Hardy faced Sheamus and they'd get a bit hot-headed, but, shake hands. And the previous week, and then the next week, Jeff Hardy beat Cesaro, and you can just see that frustration building. I'm wondering, are we going to see a heel turn happen? Is that going to happen? We did end up getting a heel turn right after the match. You'd think, they shook hands, we're all good. But then Sheamus and Cesaro rushed back to the ring and beat the crap out of the Hardys. They end up like crushing Jeff's arm into like the LED posts and all that, and they just beat the crap out of him. So yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro have turned heel. I predict that this feud is going to continue into the next Raw exclusive pay-per-view, whenever that may be, but it should be really interesting. This new heel persona, I always think Sheamus works better as a heel than a face, personally, but as for Cesaro, it's going to be hard for me to boo him, because he's so good in the ring, and the fans obviously love the guy, so I'm not sure how the fans are going to boo Cesaro. I think they'll be fine with booing Sheamus, not so much Cesaro, because he's so talented in the ring, and the fans obviously love the guy, so we'll see how this heel turn goes. Hopefully good things will happen to them, and maybe they'll be able to reclaim the tag team titles in this feud. As for the Hardy Boys, they might go full broken. I know Matt has just been teasing it on Twitter and all that, but if they have bought the rights to the gimmicks from Impact Wrestling, they should definitely bring it in and do the whole delete thing, go all 9 yards with it, and yeah, I think it'd be great. Next match was for the Raw Women's Championship. We had Bayley defending against Alexa Bliss in a really solid women's match. Alexa was just a great heel throughout this match. Really worked on Bayley and just had a sunset. She did a great sunset flip off the second rope or whatever. And how this all ended, I think Bayley was like setting up for something in the corner. Alexa moved out of the way and just pushed Bayley into the LED post. And she freaking crashed through it. It was really brutal, and like her head like really hit it. And then Alexa went for the DDT, obviously aiming for the head area, which, good psychology. Ends up pinning Bayley and wins the Raw Women's Championship. So Alexa Bliss is the first woman in history to hold both the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championship. I'm surprised they gave it to Alexa, which I have no problem with. Alexa has been one of the best women on the roster, whether it be Raw and SmackDown. I thought they would do that with like Charlotte or whatever, but giving it to Alexa, don't have a problem with it at all. Although, WWE's obsession with having people in their hometown, because we were in San Jose, California for Payback. That is Bayley's hometown, so she lost, unfortunately, which, why does WWE love doing that? They're a bunch of sick bastards. But, like this match, like that Alexa Bliss is Raw Women's Champion, and I think she's going to do a great job holding that championship in the future. Probably have some great matches going on. And yeah, happy for Alexa Bliss, good on ya. Next, I'm not sure about this match. The House of Horrors match between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. I've heard a very mixed reception about it. Some people love it, some people hate it. personally, I wasn't that big on it. I wasn't a big fan of the House of Horrors match, personally. I thought the fighting inside the house, because Randy Orton came out of this limo, and like they filmed the whole thing like it was, you know, like a final deletion segment or like a Lucha Underground segment. So Orton walks out of this limo in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere, and Bray Wyatt's inside, and it's all creepy, and you walk in and it's like baby and like dolls of like baby dolls above the ceiling, and it was just weird shit. You know, Bray Wyatt definitely doesn't clean his house. I don't know what kind of fucking sick fetishes he's into, but I just wasn't feeling it. And if you look in at the San Jose crowd, which they were hot throughout the whole night, good crowd, they were chanting boring throughout the segment, probably because it wasn't happening inside the arena, so they were just getting a bit bored with it. I can kind of see where they're coming from with that, as I do agree with them there. It wasn't that exciting. They were just fighting. There wasn't anything crazy except for that tractor that just moved by itself for no reason. That was a bit funny. But the craziest bit about the match would have to be where like Orton's on the ground, and then Wyatt grabs this dirty refrigerator and just throws it on Orton, pretty much killing the bastard. And he goes into the limo, and he just fucks off. So yeah, this is only part one though, as they had to finish the match inside of the ring. We'll get to that later on. But then right after that, we got Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe in a very solid match. Joe, like I said in my predictions video, I wanted him to aim for the knee area that he injured Seth Rollins back in his debut on Raw. Happy because he did go for that, so good psychology for him. Seth hit a nice blockbuster and a Falcon Arrow, did all that stuff. And how this all ended, Seth Rollins ended up getting kind of like a roll-up victory for him after Joe just absolutely worked on his knee and showing him that he's a smart, big guy, which is good. But Seth Rollins, he got a roll-up victory, like not like a schoolboy, but more of like rolling on his side and like Joe being on the back of him. And he ends up winning, and you know, perfect victory for Seth Rollins in my opinion, because he still looked good. Joe doesn't look like a complete idiot in my opinion, and Rollins just looked like a great babyface that overcame the odds. Very happy for him, and I hope Seth Rollins keeps up this babyface momentum as of right now. I'm sure this feud with Joe isn't over. They'll probably have another match sometime down the line, but yeah, this was fine by me. Good, solid match between the two. And then we get to the part 2 of the House of Horrors match. Bray finally gets back into the ring, and he does his whole entrance and all that with the lights out and the fireflies. And then for some fucking reason, the lights come back up, and Randy Orton's like, oh hey Bray, I'm right behind you, bitch. Hits an RKO on him, and I'm like, he's just gonna win, but just teleporting back. I didn't know Randy Orton had teleport powers. He's a fucking superhero all of a sudden. And as soon as I thought Orton was going to win, the Singe brothers, or the former Bollywood boys, just come in and beat the crap out of Orton, but Orton ends up pushing them off. But then Jinder Mahal, who stole Randy Orton's WWE title on SmackDown the previous week, hits him over the head with it, and pretty much screws him out of the match, and then Bray Wyatt ends up beating Randy Orton, House of Horrors. Fine by me. I'm happy that Bray Wyatt was able to get a victory, and I thought this would be the perfect way to get Bray Wyatt that victory without, I don't know. But yeah, Jinder fucking Mahal of all people, man. They must be giving him a push. I'm happy that they're giving him a chance, but this guy went from like jobbing to Sami Zayn every week on Raw, and now he's in a world title picture. Wow. But hey, give him a chance, good on him. Let's see what Jinder does with that. But yeah, happy to see that Bray Wyatt got a victory here, and he'll probably move on to his feud with Finn Balor, I'm guessing. But then we get to the main event between Braun Strowman and Roman fucking Reigns, the big dog himself, and he pretty much got the shit kicked out of him throughout this whole match, which was great. I actually didn't see this bit. I went to eat some hot chips because I'm addicted to hot chips. I just ate some with my family, and then I came back and I saw like Braun Strowman chokeslam Roman Reigns onto the announce table. I'm like, oh shit. Roman Reigns looked all bandaged up and all fucked up and all that, and Braun Strowman has just been one of the best big men that have been built up in a while, and he looked very strong throughout this whole match. And anytime, Roman would be like, oh, he's gonna get back, he's gonna hit a spear, he's gonna hit old damn Superman punch, Strowman would just stop him, and because of that, he ended up beating Roman Reigns, which I'm very happy about. Of course, he wasn't 100%, obviously, but Braun still won in a main event of a pay-per-view, so good on you, Braun Strowman. And then right after the match, he grabbed the steel steps and dropped it on Roman, dropped it on his chest. I'm pretty sure that bulletproof vest would be fine on him, and just, dropped it on 2 times and just walked off and left. And Roman, he's coughing up blood, he's not in a good way. I know it's a blood capsule, but who gives a shit? And that's how we ended the show. However, on Raw Talk, right before they get to the actual Raw Talk segment, Roman Reigns walked up backstage. He's hurt and he's holding his chest and all that, and he was pretty hurt. And then Roman walks to the ambulance. He's about to walk into the ambulance, and then Braun just goes, I'm not finished with you, runs at Roman, and then Roman ducks out of the way, and fucking Braun Strowman just goes through the ambulance door and into a bunch of boxes. And then he just pretty much runs off and says, nah, fuck this, and just leaves. So, yeah, that was it for Payback. Fine, enjoyable show, in my opinion. Probably the best show Raw has done since the brand split, in my opinion. Very solid show. Match of the night for me has to be the tag team match. I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of good spots between both teams, and the heel turn at the end I thought was very good. But what am I going to give this show? I'm going to give the show a 7.5 out of 10. Enjoyed it throughout. This won't be a pay-per-view that people are going to remember forever, but if you go back and watch it on the network, you'll be pretty impressed overall with the match quality and all that. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts of Payback, and if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram is at JackmanLaw31 if you want to check me out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I am out in 3, 2, 1.